This is a project I worked on at Windhover Labs over my summer internship. It's called Visage. It's a visualization platform for pilots who are remotely piloting drones to be able to see the terrain around them without the need of an additional camera or video feed being sent over radio or Starlink. So, the idea behind this project was to simplify the amount of data that needed to be sent by just having the drone state be sent over telemetry rather than the entire video itself, which is like magnitudes smaller. Here we can see this is a pre-recording of a drone flight the company had a couple years ago, where they were working with a customer to test a hypersonic drone. On the left, we have their ground system YAMS, where it is replaying the telemetry as if it were being played out live. And on the right is my application currently running as its GStreamer plugin. And it is recreating the flight of the drone. Um, and if this were live, we would actually be seeing the visuals from the drone as if we had a camera set up. So all this data, the actual visuals that you see are from OpenGL, is what the application is written with, and it's loading in the geometry and textures from Cesium using Google Earth photorealistic tiles. The application can interface with both GStreamer and FFmpeg. And it is also written as a library so that it can be packaged with any other library that is written in C++. So the actual API for writing applications using Visage is relatively small. And you'll see later in the video that I have a couple other programs written that interface with FFmpeg and have additional functionalities that GStreamer prevents. So since we have the actual geometry from the Google Earth photorealistic tiles, we can augment the vision of the pilots so that it enhances their awareness of their surroundings. So in a few seconds, you'll see one of the enhancements that I added. That's super simple. All it does is it highlights terrain that's too close to the vehicle in red so that it draws the attention of the pilot, and hopefully they can avoid the collision. Cool. And there, the red blob that we see is the terrain that is too close from the hypersonics path. All right, now moving on to the actual FFmpeg program. This one uses the same code base, but just the a different like ending application layer, which wraps everything together. On the left, you can see that I'm running a Qt interface, and it's controlling the different effects that are put on the terrain. And this is also augmenting the real footage of from the aircraft. We have a drone sitting in one of the workshops, and we are overlaying this terrain on top of the real video. So instead of just either streaming video from the drone or streaming its pure telemetry and we synthetically create the terrain, what we can do is overlay the two to have the actual real terrain with live, like the live imagery. So if we're actually trying to target something moving, or and we can also enhance that with our previously known geometry that was recorded from Google satellites. So I'm just going through a couple of selections, different modifications that we can apply to the terrain. The white lines are what we can do knowing the geometry. They're very fine and actually can detect the edges of the terrain that you might not be able to with just the colored, which is what we see in green right here. So the weird green splotches can be done without video, but the white outlines that can really enhance the pilot's vision require the actual geometry to produce. And I'm just going through a bunch of other effects that we iterated through. There's like simple blend Phong, shading, different alpha blendings with the real footage and the fake terrain, and then of course like all the different color customizations. Another feature that this has is it can actually interact with the YAM's ground system and to send commands to the drone itself. So I don't have it in video here, but there was an investor that we had who came over to tour the facility, and I actually got to demo to him. And so one of the things we showed off was that this program can act as a touchscreen and it can send touch commands to the drone. So you see how there's like a tank here and a tank there, two tanks in the image. What we could do is have somebody click on one of those tanks, and then if you moved it in the workshop, the drone would actually track it.